So what's up guys, there was recently this Naruto list that just came out, right, and it was the top 10 Naruto fights, I guess, of all time or out of all of them, right? And first of all, right, if you see the list on the screen, you'll see why I have a problem with this list. So let me read you the list. So it is Sasuke versus Deidara, Neji versus Kirimuru, Minato versus the Masked Man, Might Guy versus Madara, Sasuke versus Itachi, Naruto versus Pain, Kakashi versus Obito, Rock Lee versus Gaara, Naruto versus Sasuke, Final Valley Part 2, and Sakura and Lady Chio versus Sasori. Now, first of all, right, the first thing that kind of stood out to me was the fact that there's a lot of fights missing off this list. So I wrote down some fights that probably should have been considered. Now I know there's probably more that I might have missed out, but I just wrote these fights quickly down, just a couple fights that they missed out. So first off, I've got Naruto versus Sasuke Part 1. Now the Final Valley fight between them two was a really good fight. I really enjoyed that fight, and it is definitely a top 10 fight in the show, and probably the best fight in OG Naruto. Well, yeah, the best fight in OG Naruto, and has a strong contention against the fights in Shippuden. But number 2, I've got Sasuke versus Danzo. Again, amazing fight. I'm not going to get too much into it because I want to speed through to the normal list, but very good fight. I've got Jiraiya versus Pain, Madara versus the 5 Kage, and Madara versus the Shinobi Alliance. So that's just a couple fights that kind of stood out to me straight away that should have been on this list, especially considering the other fights that are on the list. But I made my own list with the fights that are on the original top 10 list. Now I want to read you guys out this list, and I want you guys to tell me in the comments if you agree with the way I reordered the list. So number 10, I've got Might Guy versus Madara. Now I know a lot of you guys won't be happy about that, but that fight never really stuck out to me. I don't know, it never really... I know why a lot of people like the fight, obviously, because Might Guy got his moment, and I do like that for Might Guy's character, but in terms of a fight, I don't really think it was that good, personally. But number 9, I've got Minato versus the Masked Man. Now, again, I know you're going to get angry with the fact that I put probably a 30-second or maybe a 1-minute fight over Might Guy versus Madara, but it was just such a cool moment seeing Minato with the Flying Raijins. I just love the Flying Raijin and Minato, so it's probably maybe a biased pick. But number 8, I've got Neji versus Kirimuru. Now, with this fight, I think the reason why I like this fight so much is because when I first watched it, I actually thought Neji did die, or I thought he was dead, and Neji really got pushed to the brink of that fight. But the fact that he was able to survive that fight just showed what a genius Neji was, and Kishimoto was on such a good track with Neji after this fight, but it kind of all went downhill after that. But still, it's still good remembering Neji at his peak. But number 7, I've got Sakura versus Sasori. Now this was the fight that was originally number 1, and look, while it was a good fight, I really feel like Sakura fans were trolling when they voted this. Maybe it's a whole group of anime fans just decided to get together and just vote this fight just to annoy Naruto fans, and you've done a good job, because there's no way Sakura vs Sasori is the best fight in Naruto. Not storyline wise, not just fight wise in general, it just wasn't the best fight at all. And the only reason why Sasori even died in the first place is because he let himself be killed. And you might be like, look, well, you could say the same thing for Itachi and Sasuke, right? But even though that was the case, the storyline and the fight were 10 times better. But number 6, I have Rock Lee versus Gaara. Now this is an iconic fight, not just in OG Naruto, but just for Naruto fans in general. You know, a lot of Naruto fans love Rock Lee, and I love Rock Lee as well, and it was a good fight for him. But again, just like with his partner Neji, after this fight, he really didn't do that much after, which was a shame. But number 5, I've got Sasuke versus Deidara. The reason why I've put this in the top 5 is just, I like the way they were both outsmarting each other. Sasuke with his lightning style and Deidara with his bombs. And it's a really controversial fight, I know, for a lot of Naruto fans, because they think, you know, plot armor. Like with every Sasuke fight, they say plot armor. The fact that Sasuke was able to reverse summon himself, and you know what it is? They're just annoyed at Sasuke's genius. I think they're just annoyed at able to cleverly think of a plan and get out of there, because I'm sure a lot of people would have loved to see Sasuke die then. But oh well, cry about it. But I've got Naruto versus Pain at number 4. Now we all know the backstory of this fight. Naruto, you know, Jiraiya's death and Naruto saving the Leaf Village, and again, this is another fight that is way better than Sakura versus Sasori. The storyline, the fight itself, what it meant for the Naruto universe, because if Pain would have won that fight and captured Naruto, then the Eye of the Moon plan would have happened sooner in the series. And number 3, I've got Sasuke versus Itachi. Number 2, I've got Naruto versus Sasuke. And number 1, I've got Obito versus Kakashi. Now, you guys tell me what you think about my list. Personally, I feel like it's a better list. I feel like I've ordered them at least in a way that most people will agree with. I'm sure there'll be a couple people that might rank Might Guy's fight and maybe even Naruto versus Pain fight a bit higher, because I know a lot of people do love the Pain arc, and I know a lot of people do love the Madara and Might Guy fight as well. But in terms of the original list, it's a shambles, you know. Like I said, there's a lot of fights that got missed off, and overall it's just a bad list in general. But I don't know how Sakura's fight got ranked number 1. I don't know. But look, you guys, tell me if you agree with my new list, right? And tell me what you thought of the original list, and tell me if in fact you did agree with the original list, or if you disagreed like me. And this has been Anime K, and peace. I am out.